Hello. So today, team, what we are going to do is we are going to look at the first thing you do when you are preparing to start a fitness journey and you are preparing to understand calories in, calories out. How many calories do I need? Why is it I need this many calories? And then the question rises, I think that's too many calories. I can't eat that much food, etc., etc., etc. So I'm going to break down for you what it is your total calorie intake is going to be. I'm going to go through certain things like how we get our total daily energy expenditure. It's usually abbreviated as the TDEE, and it's basically how many calories your body requires from day to day, every single day. Okay, your total daily energy expenditure. It's how to work out your calories. Okay, so I'm going to go through each and every part of it. There's 4 main parts of your total daily energy expenditure. It's going to be short and sweet. It's not too complicated, but it's getting you to understand that it's not just a case of I give you a certain number of calories and then it is a case of why is it I have that many calories and my friend has this many calories, and etc., etc., etc. And I'll go through ways how you calculate it and then how it can be implemented. Okay, so today is all about total daily energy expenditure, and this is the first step on figuring out how many calories your body requires from day to day. Now, what you can do here is, if you're watching this on video, you can hit the link in my Instagram bio, and that will take you to my TDEE calculator. So the calculator will do all the maths for you. I'm going to bring it up in just a moment so that I will show you how to enter in the data. It is always better to underestimate than to overestimate. So if you haven't been doing much in the way of regular physical activity in the last couple of weeks or months, then just put lightly active. If you are someone who is actively walking 10,000 steps a day and probably going to the gym 3 times a week, then you can put down moderately active. But it's better to underestimate than overestimate. A lot of people think they're doing a lot more work than they're actually doing, and they're burning a lot more calories than they actually are. So again, it's very rarely I see people going over on moderate. And again, lightly active is probably for 60% of people. Then there's probably about 20% of people that are moderately active, and then there's 10% and 10% that are that little bit higher, people that are training for events like marathons or half marathons that are doing a lot of energy expenditure throughout the week, people that are playing in sports teams multiple times a week, then they would be in the higher range. Okay, once you calculate your TDEE, that will be your maintenance calories. That will be how many calories your body will be burning throughout the day from day to day. It will include certain things like physical activity level, thermal effects of feeding, your BMR, and then there's one more which we will get to in just a moment. Okay, once you receive your total daily energy expenditure number, then if you just look down here, bottom left, number 5, if your plan is to drop body fat, you must take as a starting point 300 calories. Okay, 300 calories as a starting point from your TDEE. If you want to build muscle, then we're thinking about adding maybe 200 to 300 calories as a starting point. Remember, this is a starting point. Then what happens next is you implement the strategies that you're given, you're held accountable, you do the training, you do the work, you track the food, you track everything, and then you can, after 3 or 4 weeks, you can check, is this working for me? If it is working, great. If it's not, well, then something has to be rejigged. Anytime we do a TDEE calculation, it is a rough estimate. It's not a godsend set in stone number. It is something that, it's a starting point. Okay. Now I'm just going to show you if you are looking here on the PDF, you can click on the PDF. There's a link on the last page, but you can also click on the TD in on my link in my bio. But I'm just going to bring it up here right now. So once you click on it, it will bring you in here to my calorie calculator. You can click male or female. You enter in your age, which is vitally important. Metrics, kgs, and your height is also very important to figuring out your total daily energy expenditure. 2 people doing the same physical activity, but one person weighs 60 kg, the other person weighs 100, they're going to have two different, totally different TDE calculator numbers, okay? So again, most of the people that I come across will be lightly active, some moderately active, like I said, 3 gym sessions a week, maybe 10,000 steps per day. Very active will be people that are playing sporting events, maybe 2 or 3 times a week, regular training as well. And then extremely active are going to be people that are training for events like marathons, sprint triathlons, Ironmans. They are extremely active. They're probably, 2 to 5% of people. Here we have very active people is usually about 5 to 10%, moderately active, maybe 30% if we're lucky. And then truthfully, unfortunately, we do see that it's like 40 to 50% or like 40% maybe lightly active. And it's probably a more truer reflection for people to be lightly active or moderately active. It's always better to underestimate. Then you just put in your name, your email address. You can set a goal. This will not affect your TDE calculator, so don't worry. So again, whichever one it is, your TDE will come up and you will press calculate and it will give you your total daily energy expenditure number, okay? So back to our slide again with our total daily energy expenditure. And again, we're going to work out and understand what this number means to me and how I understand it to affect how much I will be eating from day to day. So next up, just let me have a drink. Now, what we have here, TDEE explained. You have PAL, physical activity level. This will account for 5 to 10% of total calories. And I'm going to explain this in great detail in a moment. You have TEF, which is the thermal effects of food. When your body is digesting food, it takes energy. Okay, so 10%, roughly 10%. NEAT, you might have heard of NEAT up 24/7. This is non-exercise activity. Thermogenesis, massive word. Don't let it confuse you. Stick with the NEAT. That's about 15%. And then we have our BMR. Our BMR is our basal metabolic rate. This takes up about 70% of our total daily energy expenditure. It doesn't change much. Okay, so again, it's basically, these are the calories that you will burn at rest, complete rest. At nighttime in a coma, your body is still utilizing energy. It doesn't change much. And again, the bigger the person, so a 60 kg person is going to have a lower BMR. Someone that's at 100 kg is going to have a higher BMR. Okay, and that's just the way it is. Bigger people require more energy, smaller people require less energy. So first of all, going to go through each and every one of them. I'm going to go through the BMR first of all, and then I'm going to go to NEAT, go to thermal effects of feeding, and then our physical activity levels. So you understand what each one means and how it relates to your total daily energy expenditure. So again, down the bottom here, it is 70%, roughly 70% of our total calories, which is our BMR. So your basal metabolic rate, your BMR, is the number of calories you burn as your body performs basic life sustaining functions, commonly also termed as resting metabolic rate, which is the calories burned if you stayed in bed all day. So if you stay in bed all day, if you slept all night, if you're in a coma in a hospital, your body, your organs, your heart, blood is still pumping around the body. This requires energy, and that is your BMR. Okay, so your BMR is what the amount of calories that you require when you do absolutely nothing. Okay, and it is quite high, believe it or not. It is quite high, but we'll get to that. Next up is your NEAT. NEAT explained. Non-exercise activity, thermogenesis, like we said. This equates for about 15%, roughly 15%. It's not set in stone, it's just to give you the idea, but it's roughly about 15% of your total calories. Non-exercise activity, thermogenesis, otherwise known as NEAT, is the energy expended for everything that we do that is not sleeping, eating, or sports-like exercise. It ranges from the energy expended from walking, working, typing, performing yard work, undertaking agricultural tasks, and fidgeting. Okay, So again, with what you will see here, neat, this can be a number that can alternate, that can either decrease daily or increase daily, but we're going to kind of broaden it over a sustainable period. It does not include eating, okay, or walking, because that's going to be our physical activity level and our thermal effects of feeding. So again, with this one, just understanding this is the kind of non-exercise activity thermogenesis that this is the work that you do. And like I said, it ranges from energy expended walking to working, typing, performing. So your day-to-day tasks. And the more active you can be throughout the day, the more that this will increase, okay? So that is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Tough word to say. Next up is your TEF. TEF explained, thermal effects of food, okay? This means the amount of energy it takes for your body to digest, absorb, and metabolize the food you eat. Okay, so when we eat food, first of all, the brain sends a signal. Saliva is excreted. Food enters the mouth. You put food into your mouth, it gets broken down, passes down through into the stomach. Again, stomach acid does its job, the digestive system does its job, and then it pumps all the nutrients out to vital parts of the body, okay? Protein being the macronutrient that requires the most energy to burn, or it actually, what protein does, that's what we can always push on the high side of protein as well, is that for when you eat protein, the body needs to work hard to break it down, okay? And it has a big thermal effect. So eating plenty of protein, but again, along with your carbs, along with your fats, as well as getting the protein, or as well as getting fiber into your diet, which we explain in the nutrition science video. But explaining and understanding TDEE is the first part of anything that you do. Next up is your PAL, which is your physical activity level. Okay, physical activity level. This is 5 to 10% of total calories. This is planned movement, going to the gym, training, exercise, walking, cycling, anything that you do that is planned, that is that's outside of anything else that you kind of do throughout the day. This planned physical activity. This number is 5 to 10% of total calories. So for a normal person, maybe going to the gym for 1 hour in the day, 45 minutes, you might burn about 300 calories, okay? Unless you are training for an event that's really intense and you're training multiple times a week or double sessions, then, you know, this level is actually really, really low. And it's your physical activity. People think, they look at their watch and they're like, oh, my watch says I burned 1,000 calories today. Trust me, you probably have not burned 1,000 calories, unfortunately. Okay, I wish you did, but you know, if that was the case, we'd all be where we wanted to be. So it's always very, it's always an inaccurate guesstimate by people as to how much they are burning throughout the day. So they are your four: your BMR, your NEAT, your thermal effect of food, and your physical activity level. Now, for instance, you have done your calculation on my calorie calculator. I'm just going to put in here example of my TD was 2,600 calories. 2,600 calories. How is that broken down? Okay, so what we're going to look at, if you remember, your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, was 70%. So 70% of 2,600 calories is 1,820. So my BMR is roughly about 1,820 calories. It's 70%. And like I said, the BMR, if you were like, I'm 88 kg, if someone was at 60 kg, this would be a lot lower. Okay, you might be at 1,500, give or take. Okay, just an example. Your NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, again, that's all the kind of movement you're doing throughout the day, from day-to-day life, fidgeting, etc., is about 15%. You do a lot of moving and you don't realize it. When you, for instance, find someone that is under eating massively, then they will start to talk like this and they might not move very fast because they don't have the energy to eat food. They haven't been eating enough food to actually move properly. move faster. That's what the body will do. The body, when it goes into, like when it knows someone is under eating, then the body will try and limit the amount of moving that you're actually doing. And you'll be like, stuck to the seat. I don't want to get out of bed. Your body doesn't want to get out of bed because you haven't been feeding it. But 15% of 2,600 calories equals 390 calories. Okay. So you can see again, it takes up a little bit, not much. Physical activity level, 10%. Okay. Again, 10%, I'm being generous here. 10% of 2,600 is 260 calories. So again, as you can see, that for me might be like, I suppose, maybe a 45-minute to an hour walk. If that's all I did in the day, that would be my physical activity level. If I went to the gym for 45 minutes and I was doing some strength training, be lucky if I did 260 to 300 calories per day. If I was running every day, 10 kilometers a day, then that might be a little bit higher, but let's not get carried away. Last but not least is thermal effects of feeding, of food, so the digestion of food when you eat. Let's take that at 5%. 5% of 2,600 calories is 130 calories. Now, when we add all those together, we get 100%. And if you use your calculator and you take it out and you put all those together, 100%, your total daily energy expenditure will be 2,600 calories. Okay. So again, this is maybe on a normal day with a little bit of exercise. What you will see, for instance, if you start to train for an event, then your expenditure, there's two different people. There's Adrian that's here, that's doing one gym session a day, okay? Maybe on 2,600 calories as maintenance. Then there's Adrian over here that's doing three gym sessions a week and training for a marathon, okay? Running 50 kilometers a week. Then his total daily energy expenditure might be at about 3,200. Okay, so the same person can have a higher daily energy expenditure. It just depends on what they're doing, what they're training for, and how active they are. Some days, another month later, Adrian here is training one time a day in the gym at 2,600. Adrian is injured. He isn't training. He isn't walking. He's sitting at home. Now his total daily energy expenditure is maybe at about 2,200, 2,300. So it can change, okay? And it's just being aware of where it is at this moment in life that you are, what it is you are doing. So if you wish to know more about calories and macros and how to easily track and to achieve your daily targets, well, then I do have other videos that people in my coaching group get to see. We go through nutritional science, we go through nutritional strategies, we go through everything nutrition, PDF slides, everything that, again, educates you on how it is that you can actually get the certain amount of calories that you require for your body and, to move you forward. So if you do have any questions, if you're looking at this on PDF, all you got to do is click on this calorie calculator. It will come up. You can also message me on email if you wish. You can set up a free call if you want to have a 20-minute rollbacking call where we can talk about how you're going to move forward over the next couple of months, set your goals, etc. If you want to inquire about online coaching, please click here. All you got to do is click the link and it will take you straight into my calorie calculator. Okay, so it's just a Google Forms slide. You'll come in here. I'm just going to share it with you so you have a better understanding of it. Here we go. I think you can see that. If you can't, well, just click on it and again, it will come up for you. So thank you very much. Hopefully that was useful. It is the number one thing. The starting point is to understand your TDEE and where you are going. Okay. Any questions, please ask. If not, have a good day. Take care. Thanks for watching and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye-bye. Cancel.